Oh man, live from New York. It's Saturday night. Oh, this is great. So today we're filming on the next video of our series, which is going to be states. So when somebody asks you, hey, just change your state, or I was in this state and then I was feeling like shit, or this and that, like what is a state? People are telling you to just change your states willy-nilly. And you're probably asking, like, what the hell is they talking about? They seem like little loony, little delusional at this point. So I'm going to explain a quick and easy method that for states that you can go into. So I first want to start off with the Neville quote. And the quote kind of goes like this: change your conception of yourself and you will automatically change the world in which you live. Do not try and change people. They are only messengers telling you who you are. Revalue yourself and they will confirm the change. All right, it's a great little quote. It basically goes on to say, and he talks more about your state. Again, so I guess with states and where you are in a state, you could always tell where you are in your manifesting journey by the state in which you're in. Lately, I've been talking to some clients and they've been like, hey, like, I feel like I'm in this state. What do you think? And I'm like, well, you have to decide that on your own, I think. You have to decide that on your own. And the one way to do that is I give them this document, this image, which I want them to keep in their back pocket. And it's known as the map of consciousness. All right, so when you operate from this, you're basically discerning what state you're in. This is the known nonsense approach, which I believe that is true to tell you what state you're in, truly. For example, I have a client and he recently went through a breakup and he was down in the dumps. He was asking all these sorts of questions. He was having all these sorts of thoughts. He was operating out of a state of guilt, shame, apathy, and grief. And again, his predominant emotional state was regret. Oh man, I should have done X, Y, Z. You know, he blamed all himself. Blame is a huge thing. And his world look on life was miserable, hopeless, tragic. And so because he was in this state, he was operating odd. He was having these thoughts. So I go, listen, you need to raise your consciousness. You need to change your states, as Neville would say. And the one thing to do that is expressing gratitude. So really getting into your gratitude affirmations, thinking of what you're thankful for, your I am statements, you know, I am the best, I'm getting better and better, things are going my way, and that'll eventually change your states. Now, it won't happen instantly, and you're going to have to really pound your brain and have a mental diet, but this is a no-nonsense approach for your state, all right? If you're liking this type of video, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment below to talk about what kind of states you're operating in. Because if you're operating in a great state, then, you know, you're also feeling it too. Moving on, I want to talk a little bit more about this map of consciousness going up and down. So at the bottom here, you have grief, apathy, guilt, shame, which are probably some of the lowest operating states or emotions that you could feel when you're not in a great state, but when you're in a, you know, when you're feeling low and something bad happens to you. As you move up, you get anger, fear of desire. And you can kind of tell when you run into somebody where they're operating from. If you see a guy flip out at you because he loses his cool, he's so upset with you, that's another example of, you know, somebody acting out of anger, fear, desire. You know, it's not a great emotional state to be in. And as a guy, as a person, you could really control these with a bunch of, deactivation strategies and move yourself up to the reason and integrity state. So moving up, we got pride, courage, neutrality. These are where you really start to operate in when you're in a great place to be. You know, this neutrality, this willingness, you have forgiveness for everybody. You're always optimistic about the future, and you have this great sense of trust for a lot of people. Now, a lot of people kind of misgauge what state they're in, and they say, oh, I'm in love, joy, peace. I'm enlightened, Will. You know, this is enlightenment. I'm feeling great. And I want to believe you. I really do. But I truly believe when you get into this spiritual paradigm, this enlightenment, this peace, this joy, that you only touch those and you come right back down to your reason and integrity if you look at the map of consciousness. So again, this is the map of consciousness that you need to keep in your back pocket when you're manifesting, when you're doing your affirmations, when you're living your day-to-day life. You're going to pull this out of your pocket, keep it on your lock screen for all I care, and be like, oh my God, and categorize and label your emotions and your state of consciousness. Again, another indicator, this is like a thermometer for you, is the thoughts you have in your mind when you're trying to manifesting or when you're trying to visualize, is you will have a lot of these thoughts. And you could be like, is this a thought out of anger, desire, fear? Is this a thought out of willingness, acceptance, neutrality? Or is this a thought out of love, reason, joy, and peace? And as you keep manifesting and keep building your beliefs, your thought patterns will move up the scale of consciousness. Again, this is a fluid map of consciousness, so it's bound to change and it's bound to move up and down, just like your quote states. So this is going to be the no-nonsense approach to your states about where you operate in. And I really hope that you enjoyed this video about states. I think half the Reddit posts, half the articles about these gurus that they post about states are very confusing. They just say, oh, just change your state, just change your state and you should be fine. And I really think half the bullshit. They don't quantify what a state is truly. They don't quantify what you're thinking and what you're feeling. And I really think this is a great no-nonsense approach that you could follow. Again, if you like this content, this is my first video. Hope you enjoyed it. The map of consciousness is right up on the screen. Just Google David R Hawkins map of consciousness. And I hope you guys liked the video. Again, I'll be back with more. So enjoy and peace out.